Hello and welcome to this Newstand webinar or presentation on EU VAT and all that. My name is Paul Dolman and I'm the Managing Director of Newstand. And today we'd like to take you through a short presentation that touches on what's happening on July the 1st for exporters to the European Union, the import one-stop shop, what it is and what it can do for you. And we'll leave you hopefully with a few options so that you can continue exporting to the European Union quite smoothly. So let's get started. What's happening on July the 1st? Well, if you're a non-EU business selling goods valued at up to 150 euros to customers in the European Union, there are some important changes taking effect from July the 1st. These changes will mean that there will no longer be any exemption for products valued up to 22 euros, and therefore all goods that you are selling and will now be subject to VAT, calculated at the local rate of the country your customer is based in. So bad news, I'm afraid. The exemption that magazines have enjoyed for many years is now going as of July the 1st. Well, selling to customers in lots of different European Union countries can get quite complicated very quickly, which is why the European Union has introduced a scheme called the Import One-Stop Shop, the IOSS. The IOSS allows you to register with just one of the 27 EU tax authorities and submit one monthly IOSS VAT return rather than 27, in a way that allows you to actually collect and make the right payments of VAT across the other EU tax authorities where your customers are based. If you export or plan to export to the European Union, you need to do this or face delays and charges at customs. Now, the intention behind introducing the IOSS is laudable. Your customers won't receive unexpected charges when their parcel is delivered, nor will they experience delays at the border, something that none of us want. You'll be able to maintain a quality customer experiences for your EU customers. That's why we here at Newstand have already gone through the process of becoming IOSS ready. And that's where the bad news comes, I'm afraid. I'd like to share a little bit of our experience in going through that registration. Well, it takes time for a start. We started our process probably early April. People like Deloitte are saying that to get IOSS ready takes an estimated 5 to 7 weeks. So you need to act quickly if you're going to meet the July the 1st deadline. It costs between £1,000 to £2,000 to register, and you'll need to appoint an EU-based intermediary, an accountant or similar, to file VAT returns on your behalf. And the bad news from an administration point of view continues. The returns must be filed monthly to the IOSS, and you are likely to be charged for this filing around €300 per monthly submission. Of course, you'll need to update your own e-commerce platform to charge your EU customers the correct rate. Or if you use a third-party solution from another vendor like Shopify or WooCommerce, then check that they've addressed these changes and are ready for July the 1st. And the final piece of admin bad news is you have to keep your IOSS VAT submissions for 10 years. So whilst we at Newstand can see what the EU are trying to do, they're trying to make that a single point of administration and ensure that EU citizens aren't hit with delays or customs charges. It's still quite a headache for indie publishers, especially those with small numbers of European Union customers. So what can you do? Well, you have a number of choices, really. You could do nothing. You could continue business as usual. Now, this is probably the least desirable option, because if you do nothing, the VAT isn't going to go away. There's a real chance of border delays for your magazines that you're sending to the European Union, clearance charges, and of course, the VAT will be applied. Just because you do nothing doesn't mean that the VAT man won't want to take the correct VAT percentage of the sale. Your second choice really is that you register. You can register for the IAS yourself. Well, that's great. If you plan to do that, there are lots of people to help you do that. I put one in the links at the end, which is a Deloitte service. And all you need to do once registered is supply a newsstand with your IOS number and sales data, and we'll fulfill as usual. If you've got high volumes, you will probably want to actually do this. You could choose to stop exporting to the European Union. Well, perhaps if you've only got a couple of magazine subscribers based in Poland, you might consider doing this, because it's simply more trouble than it's worth to go through the changes to be compliant to these new VAT rules. We wouldn't even recommend you do that. At the very least, you probably should direct those two Polish subscribers to the newsstand main site, and at least you'll get 50% of the cover price as revenue if you did that. You wouldn't lose out completely. There are now pay-as-you-go services emerging. Two I'm familiar with. One is called Taxamo, which is associated with the Royal Mail. And there's another Swedish-based service called Cross-Border It. They're great. You don't really need to do much more other than some minor changes in your shopping cart from a technology point of view, and then use either their plugins or their service or APIs. You will be charged, though. It's a bit like a mobile phone. Pay-as-you-go isn't often the most cost-effective way of getting a mobile service. Pay-as-you-go from Taxamo costs £2 per package sent, and the pay-as-you-go service from Cross-Border It is €1 per package sent, but with a €20 per month fee for use of the service. Well, there is a sixth option, and it's one that we really thought about when we saw these customers providing these services, if you like, these pay-as-you-go services, and going through our own registration. We thought, can we extend our iOS registration to our indie publisher customers? And the answer to that is really a resounding yes. We realize that provided the final part of a customer buying one of your magazines or subscription happens in a marketplace like Newsstand or eBay, then we would become liable to display, collect, and pay the VAT on your behalf. So this gave us an idea. Could we create pages on our website that look exactly like those from an indie publisher, so that a consumer can find your website, read your great content, discover your magazine, like what they see, decide to buy that magazine, at that point get taken to a newsstand white label site that picks up your branding, your color schemes, so they feel it's a pretty seamless journey to complete the purchase. And the answer, as I said, is a resounding yes to that. So that's an option that we are delighted to be able to offer, one that enables you to be able to piggyback on our iOS registration. It'll save you the administrative money from filing returns and from registering the services. And your customers get a pretty seamless experience as we're using your branding. You're compliant with the new rules because we are already. So if you do have interest in that, then I'll give you some contact details and we'll let you know what you need to do. Showing you what it could look like, here's a couple of white labels. The one on the left is a desktop version, and that's for a magazine publisher called Happiful. The white label, as you can see, supports both current issue sales, single issue sales, back issue sales, and subscriptions. We're able to include magazine copy for the issue you're promoting, general copy, should you wish to describe more about your magazine in general. And of course, if you wish to, you can provide spreads of the particular issue that's the current issue. The one on the right is from a magazine publisher called Sidetracked, and that's as you can see, that's for mobile. So the white label offering will be adaptive. It's as good on a laptop or desktop PC as it is on a tablet or a mobile phone. As I mentioned, it's a fully functioned website. It will allow the sales of subscriptions, future issues, back issues, and on our version 2 release, we'll be looking to support the sales of merchandise like t-shirts and mugs. Our long-term aim, really, with this white label offering, well, we have 2 aims. In the short term, we want to get you over a regulatory hurdle. So it's pretty basic. In the longer term, we want to be the best shopping experience for indie magazine publishers. Why use a general e-commerce offering like Shopify or WooCommerce when you can use something completely bespoke that will do the same and scale, that is intrinsically linked into fulfillment services and a variety of other services we plan to launch over the coming years, particularly for publishers. So if you are interested in this, then contact Adam, our head of publishing. He's not with me on this presentation this morning, so I thought I'd find the most embarrassing photograph I could of him. And doesn't he look sharp in that nice check suit? He'll guide you through the short process to onboard as a white label publisher and user of our white label services. He'll let you know the things we need from you, like high-res logos, brand colors, etc., and also your current and future issue pricing. So I hope we've given you something to think about this morning. The final slide in the presentation contains a lot of useful links, and I'll leave that on screen for quite a few seconds. If you have any questions or things have occurred to you as you've watched this today, then do either email them to me, to Adam, or any other contacts within the Newsstand organization. So with that, just thank you for watching and leave you with a number of links. There's links to the latest government information, to pay-as-you-go services like Taxamo. There's a nice Royal Mail landing price calculator if you're not, say, using a Shopify platform and you're trying to work out the appropriate VAT for your customers. Then the Royal Mail got a little plugin that you may wish to drop onto your own site. There's some registration services and general background information from the Royal Mail, which is in nice plain English. A link to the latest VAT rates, and hopefully you'll find some of this quite useful. So that's been a short and sweet 15 minutes or so. Thank you very much for watching and listening this morning, and all the very best.